Now, I want to talk more about the religious mothers because religious mothers are way worse. And the reason why they're way worse is because it's very subtle. It's very subtle. When they are doing something to you, it's very subtle. The second group of jealous mothers, you already know they don't like you. They tell you every day, basically. They show you every day. But the religious mothers don't do that. And the funny thing about the religious mothers, they were not religious at one point. It's a reason why they are involved in organization or religion, whatever, whatever. It's a reason. And most of the time, these type of women growing up did what they want to do, and I'm telling you, it never fails with those type of women. They always crave the bad boys and all that stuff, the preference. And when they deal with the preference, they're in fairy tale and all of that stuff. And most of the time, these type of women are not as attractive. This is how they feel. But they still deal with someone that look way more attractive than them. That's what they do. These type of women crave the men that they see on TV and all that stuff, and then they end up maybe being with one in real life. I'm serious. So when that happens, they're in fairy tale mode. A lot of these women are brokettes. If you ever, I don't think, some of you don't even know what that means. It's the same as a brokey. But the difference with them, they're brokettes mentally. They're not physically broke. They mentally broke in. See, so those type of women, they crave for a fairy tale. But they get so stuck in the fairy tale, they end up getting pregnant. Right? They don't realize that child may not look like her. May look like the preference. See, those type of women, they don't really deal with women that look just like the preference. They don't, but they want the preference. That's what they do. I'm telling you, that's what they do. So because now, let's say it didn't work out, the preference didn't work out, and he's with someone else, you are a reminder. You look just like your father. She don't like that shit. So in your mind, you're thinking, well, we're close and we are friends and all that stuff. She makes you believe that y'all are close, but she can't stand you for real. And I'm going to tell you how. I'm going to tell you how she would show you she don't like you. See, and then let me also say this too. The reason why they become so Jesus freaks or die hard when it comes to the God they serve is because they were vulnerable at some point and they thought they had to run to religion. See, they don't know how to save themselves. So they think a higher power will save them from all the shit they put themselves through. Because it was their choice. It was their choice to deal with a preference. It was their choice to get, pregnant and all this stuff. It was their choice to deal with a bad boy and all this stuff. It was their choice. So now they go run into religion thinking they're going to save the day. That's why. That is why they don't want to go back to that reminder of their past. That's what happens. That's why they become diehard. Some of these women, jealous mothers, become diehard Jesus freaks and all that stuff. And you can't get a word out of them unless they're talking about God. That's the truth, because the preference is not there anymore. See, before, she didn't care about no serving anything. That's the truth. And I'm not even religious, but this is what I know. I'm serious. So you're thinking that you're close with your mother and all that stuff when she really don't like you. And I'm going to tell you again, how. Growing up, you could have, lived in the hood. I'm going to tell you, this is what they do. This is what they do. These type of women, they don't try to better themselves or nothing. They really feel low. They're very insecure. They don't think they can do better. So they are always in environments that is not safe. So now that you have a child that look like the father in these environments and they get bullied. See? And she does nothing about it. Because again, these type of women were once children too. So they were able to deal with the bullying, because most of the time they were bullied too. But they're not realizing the damage they're giving their children now, their daughter. See, because they can't understand how you're moving as an attractive, or let's say in her mind she will believe you're more attractive than her, so she cannot relate to it. So she thinks, well, I've dealt with it, you can too. And she loves the fact that you're dealing with it. See, these type of mothers will put you in situations you have no business being in. You'll be in school getting bullied every day and she won't do nothing about it. Because again, she's thinking about herself as a kid. Well, I've dealt with it, you can too. Not realizing that, no, this is totally, it's wrong. Bullying is wrong. But you're not understanding it's a total different thing too with your child that looked like your preference, baby. And this child is in a rough environment. She doesn't care to say, you know what, I need to move and live in a better environment so she can go to, so my daughter can go to a better school, in a better school district and all that stuff. She don't think about that. Because again, she's selfish. She's like, well, I've dealt with it, you can too. See? It's the truth. It's the truth. That's why I'm telling you. She don't like you, baby. And the only reason why she's not outright telling you is because the God she serves. She think that God is going to punish her and everything. So those type of mothers were like, praying to God and be like, I know my heart and I know I shouldn't be thinking like that about my daughter, but, I just don't like her. I'm trying to fucking tell you. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. And most of the time, the daughters realize, when they get older, like, oh my God, I've been going through all of this stuff because of my fucking mother. See? Because most of the time, those religious mothers, they are always dealing with a preference. Because growing up, they could have been, to that preference eyes, yeah, somewhat attractive. But now you get all these kids and all that stuff, now he don't look at you as attractive. And now it's a wake-up call. And most of the time, sometimes the preference only deal with them because for their body or whatever the hell. It's the truth. It wasn't meant to stay there. It wasn't meant to stay with her long. But in her mind, she's in fairy tale. This damn makeup is making my nose run. But in her mind, she thinks it's a fairy tale. But once that fairy tale dies out, now you want to run to religion. But now you still got this child that's the preference child. They don't know how to deal with that. That's why they don't like you. But you would never know that unless someone else see it, if you go to therapy for it. Outsiders would tell you. And then that's when you wake up and say, wow, I did not know my mother didn't even fucking like me. I'm trying to tell you, these type of mothers are dangerous. I ain't even talk about the other group because there's really nothing to say. They already show you. I'll talk about more about this. Stay tuned. Bye. Have a good night.